Don't worry, Heist. I'm just filling up the tender, if you know what I mean.
Look at the size of my dick.
Just filling up the tender, you know. Just
that's I mean,
I had a lot to drink this morning, and you know, I
didn't,
really gotta.
you know, I didn't realize like you should get your pants retailored because like
yeah, my pants. Yeah, you know, it's a thing.
Like your crotch is a lot higher than I thought it was.
Well, you know, it's you know, it is what it is. It's a blessing and a curse, you know. It's
you're like SpongeBob in that one episode,
Yeah.
like tall, dark, and handsome, but you're
that?
tall, old,
better?
and handsome.
That's a little better.
Oh,
right?
that's yeah.
Yeah.
That's a.
How's the water level?
I don't think it's supposed to be blue.
How bad would that smell? Think about it. Like if you filled a steam engine with, you know, urine steam, right?
I don't even want to consider this conversation.
That would be just terrible. You blow the cylinder cocks when you're coming into the station, and so
it's got some stank to it. Yeah, I mean, like, it would work, but the scale of the boiler and like, oh my god, like, to fill up a whole tender, like, this tender is a small tender, and it still probably holds 2,000 gallons.
Yeah, but that's how you guys save on your sewage bill at the Colorado Railroad Museum. That's probably right?
Con. Oh, Con, you
know,
sweet summer child.
No, I'm just thinking of all the ways you guys could save money, and you guys are not open to any of them.
You know, I appreciate your thoughts. You know, we talked about different things we could do with the water, and you know, even the railroad back in the day had it kind of figured out. On a lot of the tenders in the later years, there was a stencil next to a little like there's a little garden hose valve off the farm inside to drain the tender or plumb the tender up or fill the tender, whatever. We use it for all sorts of stuff. And in a lot of the later years, they were stenciled next to him saying, "Do not use this water for drinking purposes." Yeah, and I mean, it's multi-purpose. Like, if you've ever seen the inside of a tender, good God. I mean, they're disgusting.
Well, I mean, it's like stagnant water that sits outside.
Stagnant water that sits outside in a gross, skanky, ancient tank. Like, we realized the other day, we have the 3 engines we run at the museum, right? Like, 20 got a new bottom of her tender, but the top is original. 346 has
What? How does that... Oh, the bottom plate is not
the bottom plate, but the bottom, like, they extended the tank a foot taller. It used to look just like this tank, and at some point the railroad made it a foot taller.
How do they seam the bottom, though? Because they weren't welding back in the day. So
it's just rivets and rust, man.
Rivets to like an angle plate or something?
Yeah, rivets to angle iron, and that is how tenders have been, and then they rust closed, like.
Yeah,
they didn't seal them because the rust closes it. So
it's actually a trick with your house too. So I have siding on my house,
right?
And my neighbor said that he's like, if you want to make sure your siding is sealed, because I had an issue with a mouse getting in to the siding, and he said all you do is you take wire brush and you put it there and spray it with water, and the wire brush will rust, and then spray that insulation foam over top of it, and then it creates a perfect seal because the wire rusting like seals all the little gaps.
It's surprising. It seems counterintuitive because you're wasting away the metal of the tender, but it actually makes it seal. And so 20, they extended the tender tank by like a foot, and the bottom foot that was the extension was made out of steel, but the rest of the tank was made out of iron. And that bottom foot was absolutely ruined when we went to restore it, so they put a new bottom foot in out of stainless, riveted it in, or welded it in most places, and we had fake rivets put on to make it look right and all that. So it fit the form. But like, we realized 20 has that modified tender, 346 has the stainless steel tender that's totally new, all stainless. And 491 is still pulling, not her, but original Rio Grande iron tender tank. It's not hers, it's 499's, and the tail of the K37 tender is a whole disaster. But we slowly thought about it and talked to our friends at the other railroads, and we're pretty sure that 491's iron tender tank is the last original Rio Grande tender cistern in service.
You know, just thinking about it's interesting. I wonder how much weight you could save on a locomotive if you built it like the exact same dimensions, but with modern materials. Oh, we need to switch this switch.
We do
That's
switch
right.
the
I
switch.
forgot
Yeah,
we
we haven't even said what we're doing in the episode today. We'll figure that out
we're
at
gonna
some point.
we
It's
connected to the oil refinery, guys. This is the end game of Railroads Online. If you don't want spoilers, watch
fine. Yeah,
out.
spoilers. Spoilers. We're gonna take
the ultimate end game. This is what it is.
we have Ein tank car. And
Ein a tank car, yes.
We're going to take the tank car to the refinery. It is on
Yes,
loan.
and then we build the Gustav, and we put the Gustav on the rails, right? And then we shoot the tank car at the refinery. Yeah, I don't even know. That's a really bad accent.
That's the plot of my next Urel Valley episode, Con. How dare you spoil it?
Oh, you're gonna shoot the tank car straight from the oil pickup to the refinery?
That is my desire in Urel Valley is blowing the boys up. So
Remember when we were yeeting cars in that episode where we stacked stuff?
Right.
We could probably make a catapult.
That was a fever dream. That never happened. I don't know what you mean about an episode where we stack stuff. That was
but anyway,
a dream.
we could probably we could legitimately yeet the tank car all the way from the oil well to the refinery and save ourselves the track building.
That is, we're gonna have to try that just for the sake of realism. Make sure we can do it. But
just have to figure out a consistent way to make it yeet.
Yep.
The way the re-rail tool was doing it.
We did lease this car. It's on interchange from the ES&D.
Because someone doesn't know how to type crap.
I totally spaced typing crap on the side of the car.
Yeah.
And so it's a leased car. It's fine. And everyone, we rescued the tanker from the ES&D.
Oh, but anyway, go back to my original question. How much weight do you think you could save on a locomotive if you made a locomotive dimensionally accurate but out of modern materials, so everything would be thinner and lighter? I'm talking like titanium boiler that's super thin, holds the same pressure but is light. Plastic tenders with titanium outlines.
Some, but not much. There
a lot of heavy cast irons on locomotives.
Yeah, but you need the weight on the locomotive for the locomotive to do what it does. So there's no point in saving weight.
Because you want the tractive effort to be up there.
You want the tractive effort to be able to be applied. One car. You need the adhesion to be 4, so you need the locomotive to be heavy. That'll do. Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah, so it's not really worth it. You're not going to gain tractive effort by keeping the same boiler size and losing the weight.
You're never going to gain tractive effort. Remember, it is boiler pressure, cylinder size, and wheel size, and a coefficient. That's everything that goes into tractive effort. Applying that tractive effort involves the adhesion and the actual application of what you can truly pull.
Okay, Mr. Scientist.
Yes.
Mr. Scientist.
Yes, Sir Gustav, yes.
Yes. So you have a train. I can't do an accent like that. I'm going to say something wrong. Okay, so you have a train, right?
Yes.
With 20,000 pounds of tractive effort, let's say.
Sure.
Okay, you have 2 trains. Each one has 20,000 pounds of tractive effort. Each one has the same wheel configuration. Let's call them 060s, right? Whatever.
Okay, sure.
So they both have an 060. They both have the same wheel size. They both have the same tractive effort. One of them weighs 5 tons more than the other one.
Yep.
Which one pulls more?
The one with the 5. Well, depends. It depends. If the lighter one has enough adhesion to use all of its tractive effort, all of its 20,000 pounds, they will pull the same. Actually, the 5,000 pound heavier.
But how would you calculate?
Pull a little bit less.
How would you calculate that adhesion factor though? They've got the same material, the same diameter wheels.
Take
I
them
understand friction. Friction is based on the normal force, which is essentially the weight.
And that's where the weight comes in.
Right.
I'm not familiar with the calculation off the top of my head. The railroad books of old have it. How do you calculate adhesion? But it's a simple thing of weight. How many drivers there are, weight on drivers,
and then the weight you're
one
pulling.
More car, and then but it's not even the weight you're pulling. That'll do.
So assuming they both can maintain adhesion, the lighter one pulls more.
If you meet adhesion and you're not slipping, the lighter one pulls more. But if you're not meeting adhesion, the heavier one pulls more. That's how that works. The great example we have is we have 2 engines of the same tractive effort at the museum that run, the 20 and the 346. Obviously, 346 is getting an overhaul and will be down for a year plus. But they both have 19,000 pounds of tractive effort, and 20 is a little bit heavier than 346, but 20 is a 460, and 346 is a 280. So almost
280 pulls more.
Almost all of 346's weight is on the drivers, and they both pull the same. But your time as an engineer is significantly easier on 346 because you have that extra driver set, lower pressure. It's 160 psi versus 180 on 20, and driver size is different, right? So 346, really easy. You pull the throttle out, she tells you when you're going to slip, and it's pretty obvious you can take care of it. 20, she'll do the same thing, but she tries to slip all of the time. Like, you have to be ready at a moment's notice. She's going to slip. No matter if you're starting, you're on the way up, you're applying more power. Like, 20 likes to slip, 346 doesn't. But that said, it's also with 20 with brand new tires and 346 with ancient tires. 346 probably last had new tires put on in 1914, maybe 1937. We don't know for sure. It's hard to say based on photos and all that. There's no records, but the tires are super old and they're super small. Like, you're going to add almost 2 inches to the diameter of the wheel when we put new tires on it, which means that force is going to be worthless for you. So you're more likely to slip, probably. It's not going to be as grippy. So it's going to be interesting to see.
It's amazing to me that, like, you know, the technology that goes into railroads, old school road, it's simple, right?
Very simple,
but like
very nuanced.
But it's not at the same time.
Yes.
It's very precise while not being precise. You know what I mean? Like, there's like play and stuff, but like it still requires a series of precise movements, especially with all like the valve gear and things.
Right.
And then on top of that, these guys like basically pulled this stuff out of their butt. Like, they didn't have computers, they didn't have simulations.
They figured this out over time, experimenting.
Yeah, they just figured it out, and they were like, "Oh, this works. That's cool. Well, I'm gonna try it this way. Oh, that works too, and a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, how interesting."
Little bit of a shill for the ES&D Train Crew, which are my channel members here, but I did just post a like 50+ minute unedited bit from the shop recently, where we were taking the binder strap off of one of the axles to grease one of the oil cellars and the 491. Big K37, big locomotive. I mean, we're talking about dropping a 5-inch wide, 3-inch thick piece of steel, dropping it out of the way, and the process for dropping it out of the way to get at the cellar box where the actual lubrication for the journal occurs in the plain bearing setup that 491 has. And it's a little hokey. It's not quite right, and we're going to make it right this year because it was converted kind of improperly by previous folks, but you know, that's how these things go. But it works, doesn't cause hot boxes. It's been fine for museum service, of course, but we're gonna make it right and all that. But I posted that video and it shows the precise nature of simple yet complicated.
Oh my
It's
god, we
simple
have like
to have-
coilovers in this friggin', sorry to interrupt, but I was trying to get a view of the axle binding strap just to show it to people.
Oh,
and I
right.
realized
Yeah,
this
no,
thing has,
there are coil springs on these little 280s. Yeah, it's neat, isn't
it's
it?
coil springs. Yeah, but I can't see the binding straps very
Yeah, the
easily.
binders, I mean, it's very hard to see on an inside frame engine like this, where the frame's inside the wheels, because it's, I mean, you'd have to wreck it on its side. So, hints, if you want to shut off, that's how you do it. But the binding strap is the bottom frame tie that runs underneath, and you take the binding strap off and you can drop the driver out. So it's a structural frame component, big, huge piece of steel. It's part of the frame, but you can remove it so that you can drop the wheels out or pick the engine up off the wheels with a crane or something, etc. It's just the bottom piece.
If you zoom out, hold on, we're gonna stop here at the freight depot for a sec.
Sure.
Do you want to just hop out here for a sec? Just there's
Sure.
really important railroad mechanical stuff going on here.
We're learning. Oh, I actually can see it if you zoom out and you glitch your camera in under the engine. You can do that for sure. I got it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. It's that big piece of steel that's riveted on there.
Yeah, so it's I mean, this is
It's like a big straight piece of steel.
yeah,
with some
so
bolts.
this model is kind of accurate. I mean, it's not exactly what it looks like, but you see where the big bronze piece is above the axle?
Yeah.
That's your crown brass on top, and below is the cellar
other
box.
piece of brass.
Another
Yeah.
piece of brass that's the cellar box, and it wouldn't be touching the axle. It doesn't quite get to the axle like it's shown here. But
Those are the things that wear out basically as you drive.
well, so no, the crown brass on top, yes, but the thing on bottom, no. The thing on bottom holds a pad or a grease screen that forces grease up into the axle to lubricate the bottom side of the journal.
Right.
And the inside of this is like totally inaccurate, but that's okay. Like, most people don't
I guess
know.
that makes sense because the bottom piece wouldn't even have any force on it because all the weight of the axle is pushing against the top.
So your lubrication comes from the bottom and then feeds around to the top based on how it's set up. But most people don't have like access to what the inside of a steam locomotive looks like. So it's like, it's not the end of the world that it's like totally wrong. But what would actually be there?
Little grease nipples or something? Like
so that's the thing, is that's what we were doing. And good God, yeah, the binder straps are the thing that are like spaced an inch below. That would actually be right up tight to it, and there would be more things, but that's okay. There would be, several bolts and then a wedge adjuster in there as well to adjust the wedge that holds the tram of the axles in. All of which you could see if you watch the video that I posted, because we show it on the K37. But the whole way it works is that you either have grease cellars or you have oil cellars. And grease cellars, you basically have a spring in that bottom brass piece that pushes grease up through a big mesh screen. And when the axle gets hot enough, the grease will start to flow.
Liquid and flows, and yeah.
So you're already predicating lubrication of your axle on how hot is the axle, which is kind of not a great mechanical principle,
because
right?
if there's more friction, it'll get hotter, and if there's less friction, it'll stay colder. So it's almost like a self-regulating grease trap.
It is, and that's kind of how it works, and that's why many folks have used it for a long time.
An RC car the other day. I'll have to show it at some point in time. I haven't posted any RC content on my channel, but it's coming. I promise.
We want to see your RC content.
Yeah,
I've seen some Akan stuff. His track is amazing. His model making is amazing. Like, he's gonna be humble about it, but it's super cool.
It's okay.
And they're rad.
But Cosmo's like the RC expert. Cosmo's like dude's a genius when it comes to RC stuff, and like he's gonna make some RC stuff too. And what he's really good at is doing first of all, making like a lot of the cars we make are very custom. They're all custom kits,
right? And
everything is custom done. But dude is like a genie with this stuff. And we took these like relatively cheap 1/10 scale little Japanese key trucks, as they're called, right? And we converted. This is all related to your grease story, I promise. But then we converted them to brushless motors. So they come with like a little brushed motor. They're cheap and whatever. And we wanted to go brushless because brushless gives you more power, right?
For sure.
So we're basically turning these things into drift cars. So the first thing you want to do is you take the rubber tires off and you put on these solid plastic. They're not even plastic. They're kind of like vinyl. So they have grip if you touch them, but they're not really grippy, right? And that's your drift tire, your equivalent of an RC drift tire. It's like a vinyl plasticky. It's cool. So then we're like, great. So now you need to make the tires spin. It's already a rear-wheel drive, but we need to make the tires spin faster. So to do that, we take the brushed motor off and we put a brushless on it, which is just a little 7.2 volt motor, spins at like 5,000 RPM, and it goes, or more than that, probably like 10,000 RPM. And it's just like, laugh out loud, 6 volts or whatever, and it just flies, right?
Right.
So we put a brushless in it. And then the brushless now is going through a plastic gearbox. Well, that's not going to do because the plastic gearbox will just shred.
Right.
And it will become a plastic melted mess. So we're like, all right, we got to order these metal gearboxes from China. And so we order a metal gearbox from China, but it doesn't come perfectly spec'd out. So Cosmo's like in my house and we're sitting there and we got to take the gearbox and kind of grind out some of the holes to put a bigger axle through it, grind out some spaces to put in a bigger pinion gear.
If you've put grease cellars in your RC car.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so anyway, so when you fill this, the gearbox is sealed. It's a sealed assembly with little O-rings, rubber O-rings and stuff like that. But the pinion gear sticks onto the motor. Now to get the pinion gear onto the motor, it's a press fit. So what you do is you take the pinion gear and you put it in the oven. And then you take, well, actually we use a blowtorch, but you could put it in the oven, but we used a blowtorch. And then you take the entire motor and you put it in the freezer. And, laws of
that boy, yeah.
Yeah, laws of thermodynamics, the thing in the freezer gets smaller, so the motor pinion shaft gets smaller, and the pinion gear heats up a lot. And then what you have to do is very quickly jam it onto the thing and center it as soon as possible, because as soon as it touches, they're going to equalize in temperature, and boom, done, nothing fits, right?
You got to stab it in there and get it right. Yeah.
Right. So that's what you do. You put that all in the gearbox, you put the whole gearbox together, and then you fill the whole gearbox with grease so that everything moves, and then you seal it all up, and you're done. And that's your gearbox. Now, my motor, apparently with brushless and the gearbox, the grease we were using was slightly too thick. It wasn't liquefying at temperature. It was staying thick. And what happened was it created so much friction on the pinion gear that the press fit on the pinion gear gave way and ground out the whole pinion gear, and the thing just stopped driving.
Oh my
But
God.
if you let it sit and cool for a bit, the press fit would regain its like grip, and it would start driving again until it spun up enough to heat up, and then it would stop driving again.
That is...
So the solution is red Loctite is the answer for that.
Well,
and
you know,
just,
that is the answer for many things. You
yeah,
got
and you
three-
basically just
three
glue it
cars to
on.
go.
But yeah, it was a very interesting thing. So Cosmo has that assembly because he
now.
built the whole assembly for me, and he's taking it apart and redoing it because he's just the guru of that kind of stuff. But anyway, he's kind of brilliant when it comes to that stuff. So now we have these cars that are they're absolutely ridiculous because it's like a little scaled truck that you would, you know, buy to drive around. It's supposed to be an off-road car, and now it just goes sideways, and it's just, you know, it's just great. And I gave it a wicked like two-tone paint job. My other one has a two-tone paint job. Dude, I have to turn this on, don't I? 100%.
Yeah, that's at 100%. I turned that on at the bottom. Can you watch the car for me and make sure that we're filling up? Because this new car doesn't have a lid to animate.
Dude, this says freight 0 of 0.
Okay, well now what does it say?
1 of 12.
Cool. Let me know when we get to 12.
2 of 12. The oil flows straight through the non-existent lid and out the bottom of the car. 3 of 12. Not to ruin your immersion or anything.
This is how it worked on the narrow gauge. It's very
Yeah.
accurate. You know, they didn't have ballast either, and the top speed was like 30 miles an hour. Nobody ever went faster than 30 on the narrow gauge.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually interesting. I was driving near my parents' place the other day, and there's this one rail line that goes right by their place. I think it's for the CN Railroad, the Canadian National or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when you see all these, like, I've been seeing all these videos of like railroad in the States. It's like super wobbly and stuff. And like, you know, you see like it's super uneven,
smooth, super nice.
And yeah, it all looks terrible. I'm just gonna hold on a sec here before I finish and stop.
Okay, that's 12 closed.
But yeah, anyway, I look at this railroad and it goes probably like, I don't know, 10 miles in freedom units, like just in a straight line.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it and it is immaculate, dude.
Dude, so
every tie is perfect. The rail is so smooth. Like, I swear to God, you could not see a bump the whole
That's how the real class ones are, and class of track, like that's how they actually are. It's just that when you film down a railroad with a telephoto lens on your camera, it extrapolates all of those vertical defects so significantly.
Dude, I could not spot a single defect in this. Like,
well, they got trains to run, man. Like any real railroad that's really running trains for reals, like any class 1, any of them that are taking care of the track, it looks like that. Yeah, that's what it is. Like that's doing the business. That is the business of railroading.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was blown away.
It is. So the thing with grease sellers, getting back to my conversation, I'm bringing it back. Grease sellers versus oil sellers.
You brought it full circle?
I did. You're talking about greasing up your stuff. And I'm curious if you use grease or oil.
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me just bring the regulator down. I will tell you exactly what I use. Give me a sec.
Okay. He's looking at his car right here, right now, while he's not driving the train. It's fine, folks. It's fine. This is safe. Cotton's maybe paying attention, maybe not.
Never mind. I have an unlabeled vial of oil. So I'd have to pull out the manual for the kit.
So you oiled it. You did not grease it. You oiled it.
Yeah, well, I have 2. So there's the thing with RC stuff.
Did you apply it with a dropper or did you apply it with a spatula?
I applied it with a dropper. Yeah.
Okay.
It's oil.
Oil seller. Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, the thing is, yeah, with the oils is you can control a lot of things like the strength of your differential with how thick of an oil you put it in and how viscous the oil is. So I have a number 200 and a number 500. I don't know what that actually correlates to, but they're clear oils, like look like water clear oil.
Interesting. Yeah, and if it's 200, 500, and the 500's not like flowing like molasses, I don't know what your answer is either. But
yeah, I have no idea. I'd have to look in the kit manual,
But so for us, we have either oil sellers or grease sellers. All the Rio Grande stuff was grease sellers, and a lot of it's been converted to oil sellers. Our engine was kind of converted crappily.
By the way, guys, if you haven't seen, there is a video on Heiss's channel, which is one of the videos on your channel that I've actually watched fully to completion. and it is heist using a grease gun.
I was going to mention this video.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is amazing to watch how thick the grease is in the grease. It's like a block. It looks like a block of cheese.
It literally is a thick block of cheese, basically.
Yeah.
But it's actually made out of soap. That's what that grease is. Alamite grease. It's
soap?
basically caked up soap. Yeah.
Like you could wash your hands with it.
Yeah, it's actually a really great hand cleaner. Like
Wow.
really good hand cleaner. It's funny. But that's what goes in the rods, and if you have grease cellars, a lot of times that's what's used in the grease cellar. So you cut
Right.
up that block and you make it little pieces, and in that, the bronze bit that you saw on the bottom of the axle in the game, it's not exactly what it looks like, but in that house lives a spring that presses up on a level of grease with a contoured plate.
Wait, so you cut a block of cheese and just put it in that on top of that
You put
spring?
it on top of the spring with a little plate to kind of like contour it to the axle, and then it goes through a screen, and it kind of like Play-Dohs out. No, we need to go there. We need to pick up pipes. Yep.
I thought we were going to the left. I thought it like
You're good.
Like
Not
I
yet.
thought,
Not
I
yet.
thought the switch was lined left. I read the signs wrong. I don't know how I did
When
that.
I'll get on the caboose, and when we get past the next switch, I'll line the next switch from the Y, and then I'll
Cool.
let you go load, and I'll come catch up with you. But yeah, so you put a layer or 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 of that grease up against that screen, and so when the axle gets hot, the grease will flow through, and it Play-Dohs down to like an 1/8 inch thick little spiral, and that's what
But
greases
how do you
the
access
journal.
that? Like there's got to be a way to access that without taking the whole axle off without taking the whole
and
bottom
that is
off every time.
dropping the binder. Like I said,
Oh,
you
so
take
it
the whole
but
bottom.
there's no access panel that doesn't involve you dropping the whole binder.
Precisely, which is why grease cellars suck, which is why oil cellars are better, which is where I'm getting to.
Okay.
So oil cellars, when they're done properly, which ours are not. So if you watch the video, like ours are not a great oil cellar. Basically, the great Stromboli took out the grease cellar components and then tossed in a car journal pad for like a freight car and called it done. And that's just so wrong. None of us knew at the time, but now we know these days. But anyway, we're gonna fix it. But the real way to do it is you put a strong-backed journal pad in that is sprung up against the axle, so it's for sure making contact, and it is feeding up into the axle, and it's primed with oil, so it's super slick. And then it sits in a big oil reservoir full of oil, the whole box full of oil.
and
then
property that you're about to say is
the what?
the scientific principle for what you're about to say. What's it called?
Viscosity?
No, when like fluid pulls up.
Oh, oil
Again.
wicks. Yeah, wicks.
What's that called though? There's a name for it.
Oh, there is a name for things.
And now it's
wicking.
gonna drive me nuts. I should know it, and you should know it too. And I don't know.
Minus one car, Con?
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Oh
I'm
man,
going-
yeah, I know.
Do you know what I'm talking about? There's a name for
it's
that
been
principle.
a decade since fluid mechanics. Half
I
car,
know.
stop, quarter car, forwards. It's fine.
I can't remember
That'll
what the
do.
name of that stupid principle is now. Someone in the comments is
It's
gonna get it. But it's when
probably-
fluid moves up a wick against gravity.
It's
there's a
probably
name for it.
one of Bernoulli's things. Probably, if I had to
But it's not
guess, but-
siphoning. There's a what's
Yeah.
the name?
Anyway,
God
that's what
dang it, heist.
That is what happens with the grease, and that's also what happens with the oil, right? When it gets
Yeah.
hot. But with the oil, you can have a feed tube that goes down into the box and an overflow tube on the backside. So you can flip up a cap, dump oil in it, and when you see oil come out the overflow tube, you know you've reprimed the pad with oil. Boom, done. No need to drop the binder. On the annual, you'll drop it and check the journal and reprime the
Yeah, but
pad
wouldn't
as
that
necessary.
pad still
but-
wear out? Like the pad would
Precisely,
eventually-
which why on an annual you'll do it, but like right now, we were sitting in between an annual and we were worried that we were not getting lubrication up there, and we found that the boxes had oil, but the pads were not dry, but they weren't wet with oil like they should be.
Right.
And so we squirted a bunch of oil up in there, and it'll get us through the next couple months, and then we're going to convert it to
God dang
oil
it! What's
solids
the name of
properly.
that
But
stupid principle? You're
gonna have to look it up.
Honestly, no, I should look it up. It's driving me nuts. It's really, it's. Let me see. What is it called? when water moves up a wick? Capillary action. God dang it. Capillary
capillary
action.
Capillary action.
Yeah, whatever. You know what? I'm
capillary is like it's a blood vessel, dude.
Yeah. You know, well, you know what? Shut up. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It was gonna drive me nuts, Heist. If I didn't, you know, I have that little like tick in my brain, you know, that was just gonna explode if I didn't.
1000%. I get it.
Know the answer to it.
But yeah, that's how that works, and like that's how you grease that. So like, if you want to join the ES&D conductors, you can see that video, and you know, like, you don't have to. We're probably gonna talk about it at some point, but like, I really appreciate everyone who does that, and like, channel memberships are a super important part of my channel. So I don't know about for Con, but for me, super huge thing, and I try and get those guys like cool features like that here and there. So another half car, quarter car, 5 foot, that'll do.
I'm literally just holding the brake as soon as you say half car, and it just moves.
It just buffed. It's fine.
Fine. Ah, yes, good times.
Got a lot of weight with these pipes and the pipes and oil, man.
You know what sucks too about RC stuff? Not to blow your, change this topic, but so RC stuff, we use paper gaskets, right? Because
yeah, as you do.
Yeah, there's a few places where there's O-rings, like in suspension, there's O-rings. So suspension dampening in RC is pretty cool. So you have the coil on the outside, you have a spring coil, and there's different stiffnesses of metal, different numbers of coils, and you can get basically different stiffness of suspension. But then there's also dampeners, right? And the dampeners are done as an inside metal piston going into a piston of an oil chamber. Cool. And the oil chamber has two things going for it. At the top, it's got a rubber diaphragm that can actually, like, it's like a little rubber bubble that's convexed in, and it can expand out, so it allows the oil to flow, right? Depending on how stiff that is, you'll get a certain amount of give out of that. But then on top of that, inside the piston, there's a little plastic ring, and you can get plastic rings that have a different number of holes in them that lets the oil flow through them. Right. And depending on how many holes determines how much the oil will resist the suspension travel, right? So you can really change the stiffness and the dampening of any suspension you use in RC stuff, which is super cool. But the problem is the gaskets like to lose their seal over time.
Right, as they do.
Out. And then you end up with just suspension, no dampening, and that's just terrible.
You wanna know what the suspension, the dampening?
I was about to say, in steam trains, you guys have no dampening, right? Just suspension.
It's just suspension. They're just leaf springs. I mean, some of them are coil springs, but most of them leaf springs. They're still load. Hang on, there's 0 pipes, but it's still loading. And it loaded nothing. Are they gonna still?
Oh my god,
load
are they gonna
again?
keep loading?
There's nothing for them to load. But they're still loading.
Loading ghost pipes.
They're loading ghost pipes. It's fine.
How long can we sit here for, do you think?
It's spooky. I don't know. Let me tell you about some steam train spookies or steam train suspensionies.
Cool, man.
We have no dampening. We have no shocks. We just have leaf springs, and our leaf springs are like 28.
Hey, come check this. By the way, this looks weird to me. Look at this.
What?
Look at this tender. It's like 2 leaf springs sideways at the bottom of this tender.
Oh yeah, no, that's how that works. That's actually this is actually incorrect for the era of this tender. That's not set up correctly. That's a modern leaf spring setup for the tender, where the leaf springs are sideways. But that's like sideways leaf springs is actually how most cars that have leaf springs are set up. But instead of having the bolt through them with the common piece like this, that's a modern thing. They would have a clip with the spring bent into the clip like we have on 491. Rather than that was one of the things that we did to backdate it to 1930s appearance. But yeah, like the leaf springs on 491, 150 tons total. Steam engine, like the trailing truck springs are made of 13 leaves with 3 main leaves. Supposed to be 5, which is more politics that I don't want to get into. Supposed to be 5 main leaves, so full length leaves at 28 inches, and they're 1/2 inch a piece thick. So they're some serious leaf springs.
That's interesting though. No dampening on.
No dampening, because you like
at all. Modern trains have dampeners, or do they just springs as well?
Man.
That's a good question, isn't it? Modern cars have dampeners. Like every car usually has some sort of dampener and spring, generally.
There are truck shocks on the truck themselves on modern diesels, but I'm pretty sure That's a singular shock between the body and the truck
With
itself.
no sort of dampening in between.
No dampening on the individual axles, but there is dampening between the truck, which is the whole assembly, and the body. So somewhat,
right.
yes.
All right, Heist, for those who don't know, what's the difference between a spring and a dampener?
Spring go boing, and dampener go boing. Just like
it's
that.
actually pretty good explanation.
Just like that. Spring, keep doing springy thing. Keep going, keep exciting. Spring is a cockatoo just bouncing his head going, yeah. And a dampener is somebody at the party who's a little too drunk and just kind of goes, yeah.
And then, a dampener tries to absorb the energy of the movement, whereas a spring tries to just oppose it.
Right.
Which means with a spring, it's like going to go back and forth past the neutral point per se, and the dampener's trying to basically hold it to the neutral point.
Exactly.
Prevents you from just bouncing up and down constantly. It kind of allows you to like eventually stop bouncing and reach an equilibrium.
Right. And you tend to need both in like a true
automotive
situation. And steam trains.
The spring will be more powerful. The dampener will be
in a true railroad application. The locomotives are so heavy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The dampening is the weight. I'm lining us to the right because I assume we have to go to the right.
Yep, that's up to the refinery.
The refinery.
The only thing we can't do with this refinery track is go straight into the switchback, but I can't think of a reason why we would ever need to do that. So
yeah, we shouldn't, because we just loaded it with everything that it's going to it, and it's working, and everything that comes from it's just got to go back to the freight depot.
Yeah,
which is the true end game, is trying to load the oil barrels, which is a whole trial and tribulation. We'll get.
Oh my god! I just realized I never hooked up the load point for the oil barrels to the track.
How dare you? We'll have to make that a whole episode, apparently.
Yeah, we'll have to do something.
But
I just loaded up the unload area.
Did have the funniest moment of I set up this train and I forgot about the lumber at the back, so I set up the four flats, the tank car, and the caboose, and I was like, yeah. It's a short train. Montezuma will handle it. Like, and then Colin's like, yeah,
we're barely doing this.
2.5 to 3% up the hill to the thing, and then I was like, oh, Montezuma's not doing this.
It's probably easiest to go right first.
Okay.
I'm gonna
so back it up here. And I'll grab the switch.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna try and catch it on this hill and go forward.
You got this.
Should be able to.
Lined. Ahead.
Caught it.
Your choo-choo is wandering all over the track left to right, and it doesn't make sense how it's doing it. It's fine. There's
no way we didn't just center there if we were doing this in real life.
I mean, you would, and then you'd roll back, and then you'd get past it, and it'd be fine. Like, that's what happens. That's how it works.
All right, we're good. Now we just have to do the incredibly fun task of unloading all this somehow.
Yeah, switching this out. So I guess I will get on the rear end and get ready to.
We got to do it from back to front, actually. I think, right?
Right. So we'll dump the.
First, we unload. First, we unload the oil tanker car onto this wooden platform.
Yes. That's how that worked.
Well, the oil tanker car didn't even have a hatch for some reason, so
it's fine.
Now we're just gonna unload
I've broken off the caboose, so it's out our way. You wanna? Okay, I guess we're running past this. And it.
Well, we just gotta. I'm gonna slow down here. And
my company and I will just unload the oil.
You still have the money, the purse.
I am still holding the wallet. Yes.
How does this unload? I don't remember.
The little sphere of oil is unloading, and there it be. And you can watch the oil level deplete. And
I don't. What?
It's
tiny.
Yep.
It was like little drops.
Yep. So take it ahead.
How much oil did we get?
12. 12? Yeah, 12 per car. So, $1,500
12 out of 1,000, bro. 12?
It holds 12. So, you need like 1,000 of these cars.
Wait. At the oil field, when we picked up, how much oil do we have here now? Because I know we put a lot of oil products down here.
We picked up 12 to
Oh my god, we have 324 oil?
We just need a lot more cars, man. That's the secret.
Oh god,
a lot of oil cars, but they're
so
really
many.
They're really
so
expensive.
Many oil cars.
They're really expensive, like so expensive that we had to lease one from the ES&D. So
yeah, that's okay. Well, that's fun. All right, so steel pipes next. Just break the train and then we'll.
Sure. Yeah, I mean we can do that in that order. It's fine. All right, you're
Okay,
broke
so-
off. Take him ahead.
You gotta break off just 2.
Nah, just take him ahead. We'll see how many we can fit. We might fit more than 2, so we'll probably only get like 3 maybe, but you know,
We're gonna get
like,
3,
try
so we'll
it.
still need to break it no matter what. That's my point.
Well, yeah, but we broke it. We'll switch it. We'll dump him back. Like
Okay.
we're gonna do the thing.
Yeah,
Welcome to switching, where you get all these question marks like this.
Well, you just end up with, you know, a good conductor that tells you what to switch where, right?
Well,
So-
that is the truth. All right, you're good. Bring him back. We actually had a fun day at the museum just last week where we had to dig some cars out that were kind of buried underneath a bunch of other cars and switching, and so we brought both diesels out. One is the anchor on the hill to like just be the anchor and dump cars on, and we like dumped this whole train of cars on it, and then grab a couple other cars, set them on the other cars, and like all this stuff to like make sure we could get ready for this event. It was a ton of work, super fun. Kind of wish I filmed it, but at the same time, it was like I'm trying to focus on being an engineer, so it's kind of hard to film it. You can bring it back like another half car, 10-foot.
Yep, I'm just gonna let it
5
dunk.
foot. That's a dunk right there. Yeah, we're gonna get at least
We'll get
3
them all.
of these. Will we get all 4 of them?
I think we'll get all 4. I think if it's on the stairs, I think it'll still.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at
6.
that.
We can do 4. That's very convenient to do 4.
Yep. Super convenient.
So that means what I should do is probably demolish this rail just the slightest little bit, because they stack. Look at how far over they stack.
right.
So I can just do this and just extend this rail out. And like, yeah, eventually we might.
32 out of 100. So as long as we don't, like, I'm sure they
Well,
get
even if
another
we do
bank
fill,
of them.
who cares? Like, then just don't back up as far. Oh, that's gonna hit the platform. That's bad.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's not fine, Heist. It is
It's
not.
fine. It's fine.
It's not
Just-
fine, Heist.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, there we go. That'll be better. That's still gonna hit the platform a bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
It's fine.
All right, direct me, Mr. Conductor, sir.
Yeah. Yes. A head. A head past the switch. Like 5 cars. That's the correct whistle signal. That'll do. You're fine. That's good. Bring him back. Is this what it's like playing with me?
I got the reverse signal right though.
Did you? I couldn't
I feel
tell.
like I did. I feel like I did. I feel like that was the right call there with the whistling.
Right?
And have you ever heard techno? You ever heard of techno before?
Yes. Oh, Darude Sandstorm. Got it. Yep.
Yeah, this is the
That'll
techno
do.
version. Doug,
Take him ahead.
it's
It's fine. Take him ahead.
Is that car still connected? Oh,
Yeah.
blue, that car is wrecked.
It's fine. Draft
You might
gear.
not get all 4
Draft
lumber
gear is
unloaded.
just destroyed, but like we don't need draft gear where we're going. So
No, bro, these are Lincoln pins, man. Like, if saying we need draft gear is like saying you need all
they
of your fingers on your hand.
they have draft gear. Lincoln Pin has draft gear. Like I showed that in my recent
Let's-
Couplers 101 video. It's a
Well, you
thing.
know, sometimes, you know, I don't have any thing clever to say.
There you
know?
go. Did good.
We've
That'll
done a
do.
lot of
Bring it back.
railroads episodes at this point. I've
We have.
run out
We
of
have-
clever
we-
things.
We
to
have
say.
done so many that we've started to become dumb. Which I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
you know, I mean.
No,
we're
it's
already
not. It's
there,
not
but, like-
starting to become dumb, Heist. It's letting the dumb out. you
Yeah,
see.
that's real. That's
We
real.
can do enough acting so that the first like 30 episodes don't make us seem dumb. But then at some point, the dumb comes out, and there's just nothing we can do about it.
Yep. That
Yeah.
that happens. I'm just gonna turn into a bird fully. It just happens. Just gonna start making cockatoo sounds just all the time. It's like it's what happens, man.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
I can't see anything, so like.
Yeah, like 2 cars, like 2 cars, still 2 cars, still 2 cars, still 2 cars, like 1 car now maybe. No, that'll do. Actually, stop, and we'll grab this first car. Okay, that it seems like it's unloading. Still unloading. It's great. Okay, bring him back. That's a great speed. Keep him back at that speed.
Okay.
Go a little faster if you want. Yeah, bring him back. Like, keep going.
Trying to, but it won't.
Shove back. You have.
Oh, bro, I broke the game.
No, you're at the end of track. I'm just gonna.
Oh, I'm at the end of track.
Oh look, bring him back like half car.
Oh, you 5-fingered it.
That'll do. No, I didn't. What are you on about? Definitely did not. Have no idea what you're talking about, Con. You're lying.
Did those actually unload?
Yep. So take him ahead, pass the switch. About
I'll let you do that. You know, I really feel like you should take them ahead.
Con!
You should,
What
be
is
the
this?
guy to.
What is this, Con?
You should be the guy to take them ahead, man. I'm just gonna inspect the products that we're making here. This is nice.
Con.
Well, you know,
Con.
the problem is someone removed the last car, and then there was like a huge moment of I thought I had broken the game because I was at 100 and it wasn't moving.
Right.
And then I'll remove the car and it goes at 100. So you know, that's just the way it goes. I'm
That's
gonna
fine.
take an inspection of
The
our
engine didn't derail, so that's fine.
I literally did not. I built the return loop and I totally forgot that it has to go buy this stupid thing.
That's fine.
I'll have to build
fine.
a switch for this at some point.
You're fine. It's all fine.
It's interesting. The oil barrels are blue.
Yeah, they're blue. Have you never delivered oil barrels?
I've never delivered oil before, man. Like
It's gonna be Con's first time, guys.
All right. Well, while you rerail that, I'm gonna fix this track up and put a little switch area here.
Excellent.
So.
We'll be right back once this is all put together.
Yeah. Like I mean, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out.
It's gonna be fine.
The Germans are coming. Stop. The Germans are coming. Stop. All locomotives to the front. Stop.
Comrade, we need to go get the train. That's the way. The Germans are coming.
No, the Germans are coming. We're not the Germans.
No, comrade, we're not the Germans. We are the Russians. We need to get this train out of the way.
Oh God.
We need to get back to old country to get more vodka.
I don't know if you know what's going on right now, but
what is going on right now, comrade?
We probably shouldn't be the Russians. I'm just saying.
We should not be the Russians, but the accent is funny.
We should probably. It's really a bad time to be a Russian.
Hey, Khan!
Oh,
you bastard! We need to get this train out of the way. The Germans are coming. Have you seen them?
Are you Scottish or Irish?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know the difference between Scottish and Irish, right?
Is this something that I'm gonna have to potentially edit out of the video to not get canceled on YouTube?
I don't think so. This is an American doing accents poorly, so it's fine.
Okay. So what's the difference between Scottish and Irish?
Well, so when you're talking to a Scotsman, the Scotsman's way down here. Lots of low end. Same kind of timbre as an Irishman, but way down low. And then the Irishman's the same kind of thing, but not up on the high end,
Interesting.
So, it's the difference, I promise.
My American
not really.
buddies made fun of me the other day because I said something very Canadian-like, and I can't remember what it was now.
I was there. I was there with you. You said pasta.
Pasta.
Having some pasta.
What's wrong with pasta?
Con.
No,
Con. No.
Get that pasta.
Pasta?
Pasta.
You said it so unironically, and everyone just stopped and stared at the Canadian man and went, "What are you saying, you funny man?"
Listen, I say garage as well. Garage.
Good man.
Garage.
Garage. That's how you say it. Yep.
Okay. What about pillow versus pillow?
Pillow?
You don't call it a pillow?
What?
You call it a pillow?
God.
No? Okay.
No, it's a pillow.
I don't personally call it a pillow, but I know people who call it I don't call it a pillow, but I know people who call it a pillow.
That's wrong. That is objectively
wrong. What about
wrong.
milk versus milk?
Milk?
Milk.
No, that would have an E, friend.
Well, sometimes you get some milk.
Milk.
No, milk.
Milk. It makes me poop myself, okay?
Well, that's because you're lactose intolerant, sir. Do you know our milk comes in bags?
I have heard this. I've heard this about Canada.
I have bags of milk in my fridge right now.
That is so strange.
It's a true story. Yeah, it's 4 liters of milk divided into 3 bags.
4 liters?
Just 4 liters into 3 bags, just to make your life more confusing.
That's 2 of my Subaru's Boxer engine in liters of powdered milk.
And then, hold on, we gotta go left here, because we gotta go to the hump. Oh, you gotta back up. You have to back up. Yeah, back up.
Working on it.
Back up.
Working on it. Milk.
Back up. But yeah, we have 4 liters of milk divided into 3 bags, and you buy a little jug that's it looks like almost like a little water pitcher, but it's made of plastic. and it perfectly fits a milk bag. And you take the milk bag and put it vertically in this jug, and then you cut the top off the milk, like the top corner off the milk bag,
And then you
have
add
a full
water, and
bag
then
of
milk happens.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, I
perfect.
suppose it's more shelf stable than just having
Yeah,
cow's milk
and
in
then
your
you have
fridge.
your bag of milk, and then when you're done, you can recycle the milk bags.
I mean, we
Oh,
can.
we're going the wrong way again.
Yep,
Hold on.
Yep.
Oh, you gotta back up.
How many times can we take the wrong point of the switch?
This should be the last one, actually.
Con,
Yeah, what's up?
where's the rest of the train, Con?
Oh my god, are we missing half the train? No.
I like my render distance is short, but
What?
I see one.
Bro,
stick
we
car.
had the train at one point. What happened to it?
Is it back there? Is it all over
We're
the
missing-
dirt?
We're missing 3 cars and a caboose.
Is it?
We pulled out. It was all attached.
I recall seeing it. Was it just not pinned in?
Did you go too fast? I feel like you were going too fast.
Maybe. Who knows?
You were going spicy speed. This is why we
Life
don't let
is
Heist
hard.
drive anymore.
You know, the narrow gauge never went more than 30 miles an hour, which is why all the cars in this game derail at 22 miles an hour, which is...
Did they actually never go more than 30?
No! That's
Oh, okay.
stupid! You want to cut something out of your episode, get me asking me that question again, and we'll start swearing.
Did they go 60 miles an hour?
I doubt 60. I would believe 45, 50.
45-ish?
Yeah, 45, 50, I would believe, hands down. We've got user
Oh,
accounts.
Heist, you might want to slow down a bit here. You might want to slow down a lot
Okay,
bit.
working on it.
There seems to be an issue here. It's
Okay.
going to require your expert analysis to figure out.
Oh boy. Am I going to have to come back there?
Yeah, you might have to come back. I don't know how this happened, but this is interesting. Yeah.
Sir,
Sir.
I
Yes.
have to tell you that this is a significant amount of QMA-itis.
Oh, I see. Yes.
It's irreversible so long as you play
Well,
rides
the
online.
problem, Heist. You see, the problem here is that we were dragging our flat cars and not stacking them, right? If we stack them,
Right.
then
Right.
it's more efficient because only one set of wheels will potentially derail and not the other 5 sets.
Exactly.
Right? So
The vertical stack, I mean, you can only do 5, which is depressing, but I mean, you know, like
that's how it works, right? If you can
That's
do
the move.
5.
But that was a dream. That didn't happen, did it?
Oh, it definitely happened.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
no,
cool. Are you in the engine?
I'm backing up.
Yeah, bring
Are you-
it back. I'll get your
Yeah,
pins.
Just
Don't.
pin everything. Okay.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Donk. Keep them coming. Keep another 2 cars. Another 2 cars. Another 2 cars. Another 2 cars. Still 2 cars. 2 cars. 2 cars. Donk.
It's at a constant throttle. I'm not
Still
gonna-
2 cars. Still 2 cars. Okay, dunk. A head. High ball. Let's get out of here. The caboose was tied
His
down.
name
even.
was Heist. He didn't like physics.
I mean, I liked physics. Did pretty good in physics, man. We had in my college we had physics 1, physics 2.
Right.
Physics
What was
1
your highest mark in a university course?
I 4.0'd a semester, which was a perfect score in every class. I did that one semester. I mean, there's a lot of music classes, but like I did do it.
Okay, well, shut up.
My overall
I
GPA.
got a 91% in physics once in
My
university.
overall
That's about it.
GPA in college was a 3.405, which translates.
I think it was a 3.2 or something.
That was that's an 84% overall, basically, because 3.40
Yeah, mine was like
was 90.
76% overall. So, you know.
Naturally, that means that I'm more smart than you or something. That's how that means,
Yes,
because
you're
that's
more
like a
smarter.
directly comparable, compatible
Oh my God, after all,
linear
We
system.
didn't set the freaking switch in the direction we need to go, bro.
Nope, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Bro,
Bring it back.
How's
Bring it
that
back.
smarterer treating you? You know, with your smarterer.
Life is hard
oh my
sometimes.
Jesus!
You're
Oh my
lines now.
God!
You're lines now. You're lines now, Con. It's fine. Why don't you take command?
You know what the worst part is? I can give it throttle and look, we're moving. Oh, now we're not. Hold on. What if I wiggle it backwards? Maybe I could.
You're just gonna be over here now. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
You ready?
know what?
Ready? Oh no, I didn't select your engine because the reroll tool, like left-clicking a locomotive, as the instructions say, sometimes doesn't work. There it is.
God.
Okay, got it.
Can I please? Can we just finish this episode already?
I
What-
hate
where's our-
myself
that's-
for
this is the
loving
direction.
you. Okay, back up. Bring him back. Bring him forward, actually, because the
wheels,
reroll tool did not re-rail you. So bring him forwards till you snap to the track,
No,
please. Oh,
just back up
or
until it goes back on.
that's got to be the best pirate I've ever seen. So it would seem. Okay, that apparently hitched in. So take him ahead, friend. I hate myself for loving you. Yep. Yep. Yep.
We're not even connected.
Yep.
We're not
It's fine. It's fine. When does Railroader come out?
I don't know.
Are we done? Can we be done?
Oh,
Do we have
God,
to hump this episode? Can I just like go off myself?
Alright, we could just, let's just put it on the lead and then put our keys in the dirt. You know,
Dude,
like
like
that's probably.
day shift's got it, man. The sun's rising. Like we need to put
we
this
could
train
honestly
away.
leave this consist together, buy another oil car, and then we could run 2 of the same consist and just go
Oh,
back.
dude,
to back.
I do have $2,800 now, which is more money.
Yeah, so we
than
could buy another
before.
oil car and
Yeah.
then just do 2 of the same each time. And
We
get
could
each other's
even
way.
buy the crap 500 instead of the ES&D 500. We don't have to lease
I know,
it,
right?
you know?
Wouldn't that be great?
It's
Instead of
crazy.
having a motor. Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, like interchange, like it's a big thing.
You realize we derailed this engine. It means it's got to go to the shop, right? We broke our own rule. We're supposed to recover it back there.
I mean, it was sideways. I'm okay. I mean,
Technically speaking, it's fine. It's fine.
I guess it can
This is
go.
why we need to stop recording late at night, Heist.
Yeah.
In case people don't know, we are
Yeah.
recording this late at night,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the silliness becomes
apparent.
worse.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit that switch, or do you want to just?
I mean,
I'm flat spot here, bro.
you're
I'm
hitting
flat
that switch
spot.
before I hit that switch, probably.
No, you got it.
Got it. Okay.
I believe
Yep.
it. Look at
Yep.
that.
Yep. Look at that magic. Rule G
I
may or may not
believe in
have been
miracles.
violated. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
This
Don't even
train's
worry
not
about it.
attached, but it still goes anyway. Yeah, I'm just a big
There
fan.
it is. Yeah, flats bottom. Tie it down. Throwing the keys in the dirt.
Bro, I set the independent. It's fine. I set the independent.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's gonna be fine. I set the independent. You don't even
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Look, it's fine. Day shift's got it. Well,
Day shift is a shift. They have shifting things.
oh, thanks so much for watching, guys.
We need to really put our brains together. You've got the musical talent. We really need to write a song
about day shifts.
About day shift and the railroading experience. We could use some Railroads Online footage for like the music video portion of it.
It's just a parody of Dayman, Fighter of the Nightman.
Yeah, exactly. And just like
Day shift.
I'm the defender of day.
Yeah,
I put trains away.
That's that's
The
great.
boss says I'm okay. I'm
After I get done with my AC/DC cover of TNT, but it's EMD instead of TNT.
Look at this. I'm doing the hurdles. I'm actually doing the hurdles. Look at this.
Dude, John Redson for Olympics 1895. Dude.
Look at it.
The funny thing is you're actually clearing these hurdles from my perspective.
He's so tall. It's amazing. Look at this guy go.
That's an accurate simulation of railroading in America,
Bro, how else
in
did they
Midwest
would
America. It's fine.
Shift out or switch out trains. They had to be jacked. It was just
Right. Yeah. Mhm. Yep. That's remember, kids, the narrow gauge never went more than 30 miles an hour. That's a quote. Never. So,
and remember, what's the expression? Clean out your grease traps, and
Yeah.
then
Make sure your journals
Yep.
are lubed, friends.
make sure you got lube on your journals.
It's important,
to
Yep.
get that grease flowing.
Thanks.
If your grease ain't flowing, add some friction.
And if grease wasn't flowing, just watch the beginning of this episode again, and that'll get your grease flowing.
yeah, that'll get your grease flowing
Yep.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for watching,
it's
everybody.
It's definitely not late at night.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Good night, everybody.